let's take out my dreadlocks. Right, Leslie?
Yep.
It's pretty common that I would go ahead and just refresh my dreadlocks and wear dreadlocks over and over again. But every once in a while, I like to completely remove my dreadlocks, give myself a haircut, give my head a good scrub, take a couple days to just have my natural hair, and then I put them back in. So that's what's about to happen right now. It is time for these puppies to come out. They are so loose. And so I'm going to show you ways that you can know how when it's time to take them out or refresh them. So first of all, frizzy as can be. I do have like all my postpartum baby hairs coming back. So I have lots of short hair. So that's part of it. Second thing is though, the way they feel. So when I'm wearing dreadlocks, I always feel like it's like having a weighty blanket. It's almost comforting and it's just there and it feels like a part of you. But it stops feeling like a weighted blanket and starts to feel like a dumbbell that you're just like holding out to the side and that weighing down and struggle. That's what it starts to feel like to me as they get loose. So you can just feel how they feel different. The third thing is tension bumps. I've started to get tension bumps where they're pulling, baby hairs are getting pulled, dreads are twisting. And so I know that these need to come out for sure. And another thing is also, if I put my pinky up underneath the dread, like let's go this one right here. If I can fit my pinky like that, for me, that's my rule of thumb that it's time for them to come out or be refreshed. So it's clearly time. These are a mess. And so I have Leslie here with me today and she's going to help me go ahead and take them out. And you guys are going to come along with me on this journey. Okay, so what are you going to need for your dreadlock removal? Just a few simple things. First of all, if you used our wild bands, you can actually reuse those. They do last a long time. Many women use them over and over again. I cut them out because I don't want to take the time to like undo them. I would rather just use a new package of them. But they also come with this rubber band cutter. So I'm going to use this rubber band cutter. We're going to cut them out. Then I have my crown nectar on hand because I find that like if I have hairs that are kind of getting stuck there or they're kind of knotted, if I put some crown nectar on them, it kind of loosens that up and it slides out a lot easier. The next thing is some parting combs. I like the ones with the little metal tips. This is great because if you have little ends to your hair that are kind of getting stuck there, you can use this to just delicately bring them off there. And then you can use obviously the comb side to comb your hair out. You can expect through this process that you are going to have quite a bit of fall away hair happening. The average person loses between 60 to 100 hairs a day. Some lose even more if you tend to have really thick or coarse hair. And so you're going to have lots of fall away. Don't let that freak you out. That's the same amount of hair that you normally lose every day. Just normally it's lost in the hairbrush and the shower drain when you're just going places around your house. You find it in your vacuum. Here, it's all held into the braid. It can actually fall away, fall down. And so it's just stuck there. So you're going to be combing all of it out. You'll also notice that your hair will feel thinner. One reason is that you've been using lots of oil-based products on it. So it's going to feel kind of weighed down. So it takes a couple days for it to kind of like fluff back up. Another thing is you have gone from like 4 to 5 times the amount of hair down to like your normal hair. So there's just a big contrast happening there. So just be ready for that when you do your first removal. A common question I often get about installing or removing dreads is like, what is your setup like? So let me show you. Dog, supplies, mirror. I'm going to sit right here. Leslie's going to sit here, I think. And we're both going to take my dreads out. Okay, to start this off, I like to start by removing all of my piggybacks. So this one's literally already falling off. I keep sitting on them or my baby grabs them. So I will go through and grab any piggybacks that I have that I can see easily. And these are piggybacks that are just literally rubber banded on. I do have some piggybacks that are both like braided on, 2 of them at once. And so those ones obviously I have to remove more carefully. But I'm going to go through and grab the ones that are piggybacked. I think there's only a few in here. I have one here. I'm going to slide it down and get these removed from my hair. Now I did not put crown nectar on these this morning because I knew I was removing them. Did not do it last night either, for the same reason. So they are getting quite tangled because I didn't do that. I already removed one of my dreadlocks, but I want to show you up close and personal how to actually remove them. Some people tend to have a hard time removing them just because of their hair type. If you have more fine hair, that your hair can stick to it a little bit. So I'm going to begin by removing this rubber band. So I'm going to slide my rubber band cutter into my rubber band, and I like to pull it away a little bit. That way I can see that my own hair is not in there. Ask me how I know that can be a problem. I have cut off chunks of my hair. Okay, so I'm gonna just cut it just like that. And then I'm just going to pull on the rubber band a little bit until it comes off. And then I can either take my fingers and start pulling this away, or you can use your fine tooth comb. Let me grab my comb. So some people like to grab their comb here, and you can actually, with your ladder braid, just get up underneath of there and start pulling it. Just like this. little by little. So whichever option works better for you. This can be helpful, especially if you have really tiny, fine hair. So like at the top here, I have dreads that have tiny, tiny hairs. So at the end, these tiny hairs can get really stuck. So I find that using the end of this to pull it away can help make sure that I'm not pulling on my hair too much. I'm not breaking it. Again, if you have really fine or brittle hair or hair that's just kind of like sticky, that's the best way to describe it, just kind of sticks to things, it can be hard to come off from there. So using this fine tooth comb can be really, really helpful to protect your hair in the process. As long as your hair is installed in here well, it's rubber banded fully to there, and then you are careful when removing them, you won't have to worry about damaging the ends of your hair. It's when you start tugging, pulling, ripping, things like that, that's when you can damage your hair. Okay, so I'm going to continue removing this all the way up to the top. And when you get to the top, it is common, if you've had them grow out quite a bit like mine have, to actually have a little bit of matting at the top. So I've actually used some mousse in my hair because I had so many frizzies. I used some of my curly hair mousse to kind of hold the frizziness down. So I do have some product build up here. I do have probably some makeup in there as well. So you will see that right here. It kind of mats a little bit. It dreads a little bit on its own. This isn't too bad, but there have been times where it's dreaded a little bit more in there. So I will start down at the end here, get the knots out, and just work my way up. And you can do this as you go, or you can take all your dreads out and then do this at the end. It's totally up to you. Either way, just make sure you're combing out section by section and do it while it's dry. Do not do it while it's wet. If you need to add some crown nectar, you can do that. But I have heard of women trying to comb it out while wet in the shower, and it just takes knots of that loose hair that's fallen out. This fall away hair that, there, if I put it here, you can see it. That fall away hair, it can take it and just make it into a giant knot and dread it. So just go ahead and comb it out before you get in the shower, before you wash it, and you'll be good to go. I want to show you guys a close-up of one that's kind of stuck there. So I've just been kind of pulling on the ends, but you can see one of them is kind of wrapped around. So this is what can happen. My hair does need to be trimmed for sure, which is why I'm getting it cut tomorrow. But this one's a little bit stuck. You can just see it's grabbing on. So it's just something you want to be aware of is as you're removing. Yeah. As you're removing, to just be delicate with your hair. You want to come tell us some things? Yeah. Do you see yourself? Okay, here we are. We have most of the top of my head done. I don't know how much of the back of my head's done. Like a third maybe ish. So we are 1 hour in to the removal of us tag teaming, working on this together. This is the way to do it. You can put on a movie if you want. You can sit here and talk shit if you want, like Leslie and I do. We've actually sat here in silence the whole time. That's what makes that funny.
We've seen each other in several days and we're still silent.
Like I have nothing to say to you. But yeah, this is where we're at 1 hour in, and we'll let you know how long it takes. Okay, we've reached the point where I can't reach these as easily, so I'm gonna let Leslie work on those while I start combing my hair. So this is how you want to make sure that you comb this. So I'm gonna do it little section by section. I'm gonna pull down just this part here and begin combing this out. You're gonna section this a little bit more, and you're always gonna start towards the bottom and kind of comb your way up. So I go here, and if you feel like there's lots of knots, go ahead and put some crown nectar on there. My head is super tender without dreads in because I'm so used to having them in, so combing this does hurt me a little bit. I've always had a really tender head in general more tender now that I'm used to having dreads and having only chunks pulled on and not tiny baby hairs. My hair's combing out pretty easily. It's because my ends are really healthy. I don't tend to have split ends or anything. I've had that happen really just one time where they stuck in there really bad. And that was just because I think I had gone a good 6 months without getting a haircut. Something else I've noticed is that over time, my hair follicles have gotten stronger. So I don't really lose near the amount of hair as what I used to. I feel like I lose less and less as time goes on, the more and the longer I wear dreads. Something to be aware of is you will find that you may have like pieces of even fuzz stuck in your hair. I'll get them along the bottom from like my clothes rubbing. I know I have a hoodie that I wear to the gym like when I go in the morning and it's really cold out and it's new and the fuzz from the inside of it will stick on there. So like as you're combing it out, expect that you will find that there might be some like fuzzies. If you tend to have dry skin, you might have dry skin. I have a little bit of product in there from adding that mousse on the outside. I use Air Whip powder and cocoa powder as my makeup. I know that is all through here, so that can be expected along with your little chunks of hair. Oh, there we are. So that's the reality of what happens. It's kind of just you look at it and it looks like fuzz, like clothing fuzz. There's one whole section all combed out. It feels magical. Last one. The tiniest hair.
I know.
Yay! They're out. My hair actually combed out pretty well, which tells me that my ends are still doing great, which they normally are. But I'm going to show you guys, first of all, the amount of hair that we have here. So this is my like hairball. So I have noticed that over time, I lose less and less hair every single time. Like when I was newly postpartum, I had my first removal, I had a hairball this big. Like it was massive. And I used to have one like about the size of my fist that wasn't like super compact and full like during probably my first year of wearing dreads. But now this is about what I lost in hair. So not a ton. You can see there is fuzz in there from like just clothing and stuff rubbing on it, but that's what I lost. And as for wild bands, here they are. Probably about half a package of one. Goodbye. But thank you for holding up for a month. It's a win. All right, so here's what we have here with my natural hair looking wild. It's all been combed out. Crazy as can be. It's cute. It's adorable. But what I usually do after this is I'll actually take some crown nectar. I'll just kind of pump some of it on my scalp. If you want to do a full scalp treatment, you can soak it in there. But I'll do this and just kind of rub it around really well. Add some moisture. That will also kind of just break down if there's any other oils and build up and stuff happening there. I'll leave it on for usually 20 to 30 minutes. Sometimes I'll even go ahead and either just put in a ponytail or I will go ahead and put it in a bonnet and let it sit there for a while and let all of that soak in before I hop in the shower. Shampoo it twice, 2 times to get all that crown nectar out, condition it, and style it as usual. Something that can happen. We have a casualty. So this is a dread that I had piggybacked in. Obviously, it's like dreaded to itself. It looks messy. I always say when you order your dreads to get an extra bundle of them because this happens sometimes. You'll have some that get kind of frizzy. This one was like right back where my ponytail sits, so I'm guessing it probably just like kept getting rubbed on as I put ponytails up. But this is one that I'm gonna go ahead and since it's all stuck together, it's a shorty one like this. I'm just gonna trash it. All right, guys, here we are. My cute little afro. It's done. Okay, so this took us 2 hours to remove them, to comb all of them out, go through them one by one. That was section. No, it just stuck together. So it could be combed again. So I'm gonna hop in the shower, get this all taken care of, go back to my normal hair, my natural hair. Really, this isn't my normal hair. This is my natural hair. And then tomorrow I'm actually getting my cut and color done and I'm gonna enjoy 5 days of my natural hair. Probably by day 3, I'll be over it and not want to style anymore, be ready for dreads, but 5 days is what we have set. Okay, here we are. This is the final result. I'm actually getting my hair done today because I need a cut. I'm actually gonna have some color done because I want to have like an ombre effect when my hair is braided down to my dreads. And so I haven't had my color done in over 2 years, so virgin hair here. That's all. That's my dreadlock removal.